Greetings, mortals. I am Natas, the ruler of the underworld, and today we will be reacting to the newest chapter of My Academia, chapter 395, titled Build Up the Joy of Others. So, yeah, because then there's a joy in the title, I guess this means we're gonna be like, this is gonna be like a chapter where we finally end the whole Togo chocolate fight, like, I kind of assuming what it's gonna be like. There's a very good chance. So, yeah, this is gonna be the end of it. So, anyways, we start this chapter off with the sea of twice togas and whatever the fuck else was in their copies, kind of slowly dispersing as I guess the time ran out, or maybe the will was no longer there, or whatever it was supposed to be. As it goes away, as then we see a very heartwarming panel where it looks like every I'm not sure if it's everyone, but it looks like uh, all of the entirety of the Tokyo fucking were below Angie as he was like, I guess, trying to keep them away from him. I mean, granted, Nanji is Natsu is a bit more out of Angie's way, but it does kind of look like he was like kind of keeping everyone on top of him to take their blows for them or something, or at least majority of them. I mean, there's only so much one person can do to keep uh five yeah no five people pull under him, even though Angie is a huge guy. As then we get them away, as then Angie, I think. Oh my god, he's alive. Are you kidding me? Angie's alive, for God's sakes. As we see Endeavor, like, still kind of looking. He looks something like broken, like, oh, I'm too old for this shit. I just cannot handle it anymore. As then we see some of the cities that will start to get engulfed as well, getting all that distraught. As we see, it was but those things, it seems like it was like right up to Ida, as he's like, ugh, like I'm moving away, which they got quite up there, which because I'm pretty sure he was still in like, not to say that he was in the middle of the city or half the city, but I think he was like still quite a few buildings away from the actual woods themselves. So kind of impressive. So pretty sizable. As then we see the all the twice disappearing, as then we get like another really good shot of just how much of a wreckage that was. Because remember, they were sent to pretty much a forest in terms of where they were, and now it looks like the entire forest and everything around it was kind of like getting destroyed and ripped apart and complete. Like you guys see like a desert there. As we see that twice, we see one twice Troga copy going there as it cuts a bit into Hawks, as I guess maybe that was a blade that Hawks was wielding because he still had like that stance where he was like still on a mission. But regardless, we see a blade going there, as we see like a bit of a cut on the Twice's face, and as well as a bit of a chest, but it's not enough to like do anything permanently. It's like it's not. I wouldn't say it's like a skin deep wound, but it's like you get spurt of blood, but it's not like a death one. Although to be fair, with how beaten in Hawks looks right now, he might just be beaten. He might just die if he doesn't get medical attention pretty quickly. Although, because the fact Angie's was still alive, I question that. But regardless, the Toga is getting started disappearing. As Hawks tells the Toga, fair enough, but Awara was a pretty decent guy, Himiko Toga. Because again, like Twice did not want to do what he did, but it's like he's trained to be the killer, trained for these kind of missions. He's trained to do the hard stuff. So even if he doesn't want kill Twice, he will have to do it because it was the best way for it. So he's like, yeah, fair. The reason why you want to hate me and kill me, but since Twice wasn't doubtful, but he kind of just has to take it. As they see the Toga Twice starting to cry again, as then we cut to inner thoughts. As I think Toga saying this like, I thought I wielded my knife to become those I love, but I wound up gripping it out of rage and hatred, all in order to make the world easier for me to live in. As then we get a completely new Toga in the same kind of nude way as characters in 70 Sins were, where, like, they were clearly nude, but they were still like, there was a certain female part that they wanted to show, so they kind of kept that, like, face completely bright to, not get the full idea, but you knew what was going on. As we see, like, it's this type of shot with Toga here. She's there, and she's wielding one knife, and her, that mask, that thing that she wore, as her hair is also kind of blowing the wind. I can see the those buns that she had, like, got a little bit unwrapped because of all this chaos. As we see the Ochako just lying there unconscious, just as we have Toga thinking, well, get back in Toga's spot. It's like, all in order to make. Well, actually, I already said that. As then we have Toga staring around her a bit, like, ah. As then we have Toga grabbing her arm, and she like goes a bit more, bends down a bit, and she remembers. Toga's like, here's the blowback from using other quirks while transforming. As when we see a shadow of Toga, uh, Toga after the Curious fight, where a bit of her face was blown off. I guess to show, like, this isn't a BS thing. This is something that was already active. That in there. It's just that we forgot, like, to clarify. That's what actually happened there. Seems like a bit of a cop out, but whatever. I have to reread if that was really like implication or what exactly it wasn't. I can't exactly remember the moment itself, but will check it later, or at the very least before the Toga video. As we have Toga saying, "Oh." As we see, like, another shot of, like, ruins, we see, like, people unconscious on the floor everywhere, and it all looked like a desert. As then we have Toga saying, the heroes who got caught up in your chain zero gravity, you're giving them a gentle landing, huh? The release of your quirk is moving along that much slower since it was applied indirectly anyway, right, Ochako? And she's kind of explaining the quirk and reason why not everyone's dying as they're being dropped from the sky to the ground and all that, since that's kind of, otherwise you have to be very realistic on the explanation on why captives are surviving all this. Because they were like in like they look like they were engulfed all around them by togas. They had to be a bit above air, and there was some who were touching the heroes and all that. So especially on that, as we see, which are just kind of wheezing and puffing on the ground. She's all covered in blood. We see like a good chunk of her suit being covered in blood, and her mouth as well. As as they have a talk saying, in the end, you never let anyone down hard. So could you, as they have Toga saying, so cold. I've lost too much blood. My actually, I think that's what Joker's saying. She's like, so cold. I've lost too much blood. My head and body don't even feel connected, and I can't to move a muscle, but I still gotta keep moving. As we have a Toga looking at her, as then she again looks in a direction of everyone else. As then we see a shot of Kame Woods holding Jiro and a few other heroes, which I'm kind of surprised that he's holding Jiro since I think she was on her own when we got like a shot of her engulfing those twice copies, but I guess not. I guess not. I guess maybe he grabbed her when they were starting to disappear. It was like, oh shit, Jiro, wait, come here. So yeah, as then we have for geography and stuff, you can have a lifetime's worth. Actually, remember what Joe told her. With you can have a lifetime's worth of my blood. As Stoga looks at, we get closer to what Stoga's looking at. She sees you. Then she remembers the end of the last chapter, and she asks, "Oh, Chocolate, am I cute?" And then she continues to remember, and she has that device she gets around her, and she's like, I want to know how special I think your smile is. Then we have Toga looking up in the air as she remembers what Chaka told her last chapter with the curious in the whole world as she sees the helicopter. I'm assuming she's thinking to herself, oh, good, they're probably called hospital and medical staff immediately here. And I'm doing in the cameras. They have a Toga looking down again at Ochako, who is still huffing and wheezing. Toga's like, that much blood loss will be fatal because you kept moving around after I stabbed you. Listen, Ochako, the League of Villains. Uh, and then we get a close up of Otoga's face in more shadows as she tells them, will destroy everything. And once the dust settles, I know that that world will be easier for me to live in. As then we see like this very humbling panel where we see all the like main members of the League of Villains, Tomoa, Kompraska, Twice, Spinner, and Dabiko, like kind of saying, "Come here, hey Toga," but like not exactly. Like you have Compras doing that. You have Dabi like, "Oh, we found you. Oh, bye." And where have you been, young lady, kind of thing. Where Spinner and Tomo just kind of looking at her. Oh, there you are. As then we have Toga going down to Ochako. She's like shaking in with all the loss. As then you have Toga like taking some of Ochako's blood in as she transforms completely into Ochako again. As she's like, but I was so happy to hear what you had to say. I know I said it's life or die, winner takes all, as Ochako's like easing it. As then we have Ochako's face that the Toga had like kind of bursting open, similar to the beginning with what was shown in the beginning chapter. Which I think it might be because she used so much of Twice's work in the previous previously that now even just for me once again will be like kind of the after effect. Like well, it's kind of like the thing that the quirks have been experienced the power through. Like you can develop the quirks will itself get like their immunity, so you'll be able to use them more often if you use them more times. It's painful. Like the first few times it's gonna be painful, but then it's gonna become more standard. And I think because Toga used so much of it previously, now the after effect is like it's going to blow back even if she didn't use the quirk itself. Ancients from now will just blow it in. I'm assuming this might be clarifying in the volume or something, cause just to fully explain in details or something, but we'll see. As then Toga saying, as in those devices she had, like it syringes out, and she tells her, but the thought of a world without you, no, I don't like that. And to show how genuine these feelings are, as then we have Toga kind of messing with him a bit to give some of the blood to Choco to put one into Choco's arms, as she puts the other one into her arms to like do that like transfusion, which was something that was shown previously with Twice doing it when he was like, "You Twice copies, go get Toga's devices." You to make copy of Toga so we can do the blood transfusion thing. So that's how that is again being used here. But this time it's Toga using it on Choco and transform herself into Choco so they'll have the same blood type. Which makes Toga's quirk very useful because all she has to do is consume a little bit of your blood and she'll be able to, help you, give you the blood transfusion. Which really shows you how useful some of these blood quirks are, despite how much some people may shit on them. Like, Toga's quirk is like perfect for medical work, perfect for blood transfusions. And yeah, they didn't like it because it was creepy and all that, because of the blood part. And now, great job, you possibly lost one of the people who could be extremely helpful in the medical community. Something that's said that quirks are not making it the most easier since a healer isn't exactly the most common quirk. But yeah, anyways, you have Toga saying to Choco, I know she's crying in the Tabitha's face that got blown back to her to normal Toga, and she tells her, "All of my blood is now yours to have." Since that, which is of it, which yeah, the implication is it's very literal by looks of things. Is there we have the blood Toga guys is going from her to Choco as it reaches into Choco's arm. And so Choco's like, it's warm because react to the transfusion, and Choco's like, but she shouldn't doing this will mean doing this will mean since she's giving all of her blood, and the thing is like Ochako's body doesn't seem like it's patched up. It just seems like Toga's giving her like longer time period for someone to recover and come with medical assistance because Toga doesn't know how to like apply first aid and all that kind of help. So in a sense, basically, like, I'm giving you more time, basically, which may result in my that because I'm giving you all of mine. As we get this panel that I was referring to previously in the walk, when there was this whole transfusion, where I guess it's explained that the copy of Toga who was getting a transfusion, and immediately after he gave the blood from it, it separated basically. As we have Toga thinking, when I almost died, Jin saved me this way. But since I'm out of Jin's blood, I gotta turn you into you, Chaco. Cause if I can use someone else's quirk, my blood must turn into their blood too. So she's explaining this, and she uses some other needles and all that type of stuff. Which I think is maybe implying that she's kind of sewing it together, so at least it will not be like continuously, so get more time. I guess I was wrong about her not having any idea. Although to be fair, may not be an expert, but like, decent as they would have for trying to be like, no, don't, because again, like you'll be feeding me with all of your blood, and we barely look like you have more blood than me. And also, you just be like putting her in that state as well. As then we have Toga be like, let me stitch you up, since she still would be bleeding out. As Toga's like, were you planning to visit me in prison and make those blood donations until I died? It's like actually like, how exactly did you expect? How exactly were you thinking about giving me blood for the rest of my life or stuff like that? But yeah, I didn't see Toga too far gone to be able to respond or react or anything. As we have Toga just smiling and be happy about what she's doing, helping with Choco. And Director was saying, you could have been fine and dandy just catching villainous Uchako. Just a limited freak from the world, just doing the right thing like a plain old hero. Yet, you went above and beyond and spare a thought. Therefore, Toga, after finishing up, kind of lame because again, like she's probably losing a lot of blood. Not, she probably lost a lot of blood when she was sewing Uchako so she would survive. As Ochako Oto just kind of lays down, she's like, for someone who hurt lots of your friends and who has out to stab you full of holes, you're kind of weird, Ochako, since, the fact that she went this far ahead to, help with Toga and to come down, which, to be fair, this point is the best fucking solution you could go through. Like, if you were to think about it, captains really should die in these definite, like, both captains should die in these, like, even battles to death fights. Like, there's not a reason why someone should just like be able to handle all the blood loss, all the damage without succumbing to them after a few minutes, and unless someone immediately gives them first aid. And right there, Jocko getting just a bit, and she's like, "You want to talk? You can't do this. You can't sacrifice yourself for me." And then Jocko just saying, very happy, because like, "I live and love as I please." So yeah, that's the thing. She wanted this. She wanted a world where she could live easily and love what she wants, and all what she's doing it. She's giving her life to someone she loves and everything. So it's a really nice sentiment. And there, which I don't think so. So no, I can't let you catch me. Just like how you can't bear to let me get away. I'm sorry for stabbing you. I'm sorry for screaming at you. I mean it. So basically, like, which is actually goes back into a whole thing where Toga said, no, Kira said that she never wanted to be caught. So this is why her agility and all that so high is because she wanted to always evade, always run, always escape. But in this sense, she can't do it because again, Chaco cannot let the villain, the guy, person who did all that, like the naming of all her crimes, let go. Except for kidnapping and impersonation, but those crimes we might get mentioned them later by Kim or something. She can't just let all those crimes like get away. So it's understandable why. And she also apologizes for this. As then we have Toro saying Ochako, Toya burned down my old house for me. That normal house full of bad vibes. He made it go away for my sake. That made me happy, but even with the house gone, the bad stuff's still there in my heart. And then she says, you didn't make it go away, Ochako. And as painful as it was when you reached out and touched me, my heart felt so light. As Ochako is looking at Otoga, as Otoga looks at Ochako, she starts to cry again. As they will get a flashback to Ochako and Deku preparing before the war. As I think Ochako is remembering her words before the war. It's just maybe there's no way to avoid a battle, but I can't ignore what I saw deep inside him. Well, actually, that's what Izuku telling you, Choco. So that's kind of going full circle. As there for Toga saying, like I could just float away, as Ochaco starts to cry as well. As then we get the final page for the chat. Well, get the page for the chapters. We have uh, Toga taking the All Might doll, putting it on Ochako as she tells Ochako as they're both as she's trying to cry with, "Thank you, Ochako. You've made me so happy. Be truly, genuinely happy." As there gets the blood going from Toga's tubes into Ochako, as Daenerys comes up saying, oh, actually, Toga saying in her mind again, "I wanted to become other people so badly, so in fits of jealousy and affection, I drank all of their blood." As then we have Ochako screaming as she also starts crying with "He, me, ko," as they were saying, "Yes." And then we get this like symbolic chapters where we have like the bird, growing up of that bird like flying in the skies, as those like maybe just maybe if I had known these feelings sooner, then despite how badly I wanted to drain their blood, I would have yearned to give my blood away too. If I had expected that sort of love, I maybe would have had an easier time living in this world. If we have Toga in her usual outfit, looking up in happy in the sky, as then we have Toga's in the final page of the chapter saying, "In any case, I'm Himiko Toga. I live and love her how I please. That's how I made my way in life. Just a normal girl with the cutest smile in the world." As we end the chapter where with Toga like holding Choco and kind of like that kind of like the bedroom sense, or like going for a hug, but couldn't go for a full hug, as she is putting hugging Choco and knows they're both unconscious, with Toga possibly dying. Which I guess is kind of confirms that all the legal villains, remember, he's going to die. Like when Dobby was still speaking, I was like the final breath, no words out of his breath. Like he's still not able to be recovered, and I'm assuming Toga will also recover. Like I'm really feeling this guy is saying that the legal villains are dying this thing, and oh, I hope at least they're all dying, which I mean, I wonder what they're gonna do with Kompraska and Spinner. I mean, Spinner might still come back into play depending on how it's done, but we have to wait and see. Like maybe me off one's gonna force the body to move or something, like a puppet or something. But we have to wait and see. But yeah, this is the end of the battle. This is the end of focus on Otoga and Ochako's storyline, which I think ended the way we should have all expected to end, with Toga, well, not this specific thing, but like expect more like a friendly terms. Like the two of them are like not best friends, but they're not like high school friends. No, Toga's dying like as if she's like high school friends with Ochako, and yeah, we also see like the way how Quirk could have been used for good, but instead it was used for evil because like they didn't do anything. They didn't help it. What the system did was not helping at all. Yeah, Quirk maybe would be creepy when you think about when it's initial, but now it's actually like it could have been used for good, but now it has been just used for evil until the very last moment where it's used for what could have been for the betterment of the world, society, and all. And yeah, it's a pretty emotional kind of ending of it. It's a very nice way to end it. Kind of disappointed there's no like a chapter to build up for the next for the next where we are transitioning next. But I feel at this point, I feel like we're either gonna be transitioning into some random minor battles just to have like all these high level escape prisoners beaten and captured, and then we're gonna get into All for One versus All Might. Well, All for One versus All Might, and Tomoe versus Izuku to kind of get into the wrap ups of the fights. I mean, it should be about I mean that makes sense. Like, I don't know, to be fair, we might still just go back into All for One versus Izuku, although maybe some standard stereotypical hero versus villains clashes of evil and good, and then just being down since All for One and versus All Might and Izuku versus Tomoe are a bit more of a higher in its own tier. So maybe some more basic villains versus heroes fights to like really, I think, bring the contrast. Like this is the difference between Toga and Darby's fights to standard villain versus hero things. So yeah, we'll see on that front. But I also break next week. Again, making me think there's some kind of weird holiday or something. But whatever, especially since I believe during the August time there are a lot of breaks in Shonen Jump, but whatever. Anyways, I hope you like this chapter reaction. I hope you leave your thoughts on this chapter in the comments below. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to this channel for more videos in the future. And with that said, I cannot wait to see all of you Motos next time. Goodbye.